All right, so um, we're going to take a deep dive into this homologation engineer career path you've been asking about.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty niche area, right?
Yeah, definitely a specialized field.
We've got some good info here from RoleCatcher.
Mm-hmm.
It's a career platform to kind of break it all down for us.
It is.
So from what I'm seeing here, these engineers are like the gatekeepers, you know, making sure everything's good to go before a car hits the market.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Right.
They're the ones making sure every vehicle, every component, every system on that vehicle meets all the legal and safety standards for the country that it's going to be driven in.
Oh, wow. So they really are like the last line of defense before your car
Yes.
goes out to the public.
Yeah, so no selling a car that needs a right side steering wheel and a left side driving country.
Uh-huh. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No more of those oopsies.
exactly.
Preventing those kinds of things.
Yeah, they've got to really know those regulations. Working with engineers, test facilities, government agencies, that whole thing, just to make sure everything lines up.
So it sounds like a lot of plate spinning. Like, what's a typical day even look like for a homologation engineer?
Yeah.
Is it a desk job? Are they out in the field? What's going on?
It's a mix. It's a real mix.
Yeah.
One day they might be at their desk, up to their ears in regulations.
Yeah.
And then the next they're out at a testing facility,
Yeah.
watching crash tests or emissions output.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, at least you get a change of scenery.
Right.
But speaking of change of scenery, the guy did mention extensive travel.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, listener? Is that a perk? Is that a deal breaker? Let us know.
Yeah, that's something to consider for sure.
Yeah, because this isn't just about local regulations. This is global.
Exactly.
Wow.
The global automotive landscape.
Okay, so speaking of navigating this career path, the guide also breaks down the pros and cons.
Right.
So I'm assuming good pay and interesting work are definitely on that pros list.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
The work is very intellectually stimulating.
Yeah.
You're at the forefront of automotive technology,
Mm-hmm.
and the compensation that comes with it
Mm-hmm.
reflects that high level of expertise that's required.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
But what about the downsides?
Yeah.
Long hours, high stress.
Yeah, those are definitely realities of the job.
Really?
There's a lot of pressure to meet deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
The regulations are constantly changing,
Oh, yeah.
and you need to have meticulous attention to detail.
Wow.
So, yeah, those things definitely contribute to a pretty demanding work environment.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're responsible for making sure these vehicles are safe and meet all the legal requirements.
Absolutely.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
So what kind of person thrives in that environment? What are the must-have skills?
Yeah, so critical thinking is definitely at the top of that list.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's a buzzword, but it's
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah, it's easy to just say critical thinking, but what does that even mean for a homologation engineer?
So let's say there's a car manufacturer that's developing a new electric vehicle
Oh, okay.
with a brand new battery system that's revolutionary.
All right.
And the homologation engineer discovers that there's a conflict between that battery's design and the safety standards in a particular country.
Oh, wow.
That's where the critical thinking comes in.
Okay.
They have to analyze those regulations,
Yeah.
understand the technical specs,
Mm-hmm.
and then find a solution that satisfies both without compromising safety or delaying the vehicle launch.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you really do have to think on your feet
absolutely.
and be able to problem solve.
For sure.
Yeah, you really do have to think on your feet and be able to problem solve.
Absolutely.
So we're talking about a career where your decisions directly impact public safety.
Right.
You got to be on top of your game, detail-oriented,
Yeah.
able to problem solve on the fly.
Right.
So how do you even break into this field? What's the path to becoming a homologation engineer?
Well, usually it starts with a solid background in engineering. RoleCatcher specifically mentions mechanical, automotive, or electrical engineering degrees
Right.
as good starting points.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Got to understand how a car works before you can make sure it meets all the requirements
Sure.
to be, roadworthy.
Precisely. But it's not just about textbook knowledge.
Okay.
The guide also mentions hands-on experience is super valuable.
Okay, so like internships, co-ops, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Internships or co-op placements in the automotive industry.
Yeah, because it's one thing to ace a thermodynamics exam,
Right.
but it's another thing to actually work on a real car.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Those experiences really help bridge the gap between the theory and the actual practice.
Yeah.
They might even find themselves assisting with vehicle testing or analyzing data
Oh, wow.
to make sure it's compliant, even working with regulatory bodies.
So it's like real world experience.
Got
To
it.
see how it all fits together.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So let's talk career progression.
Okay.
You land that entry-level homologation engineer position.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there?
Well, the RoleCatcher guide actually outlines a pretty clear progression
Okay.
from entry level all the way up to like principal homologation engineer.
Wow. Okay, so walk us through that. What
It's-
does that look like?
So early in your career, you're focused on specific tasks.
Okay.
You're supporting senior engineers.
Mm-hmm.
You're learning the ropes,
Mm.
the regulations, the testing procedures, all that.
Right.
As you gain experience, you start taking on more responsibility.
Okay.
Maybe even managing the homologation process for a certain component or a vehicle system.
So you might start with like making sure the headlights are good.
Exactly.
And then eventually you're overseeing the entire electric drivetrain or something.
Exactly. And as you climb that ladder, you're not just mastering the technical side,
Okay.
you're also developing leadership skills.
Right, because you got to manage a team at some point.
Exactly.
It's not just you in a room by yourself.
And communication's huge.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially when you're dealing with those regulatory bodies.
Exactly. You're negotiating with them.
Wow.
Maybe even influencing the strategic direction of homologation for your whole company.
So it sounds like this role really blends that deep technical knowledge with
Yes.
being able to think strategically
Absolutely.
and lead a team.
It's a great blend.
Wow. So looking back at everything we've talked about,
Yeah.
it's clear that this isn't just about checking boxes on a checklist.
Yeah, not at all.
It's about making sure that every single vehicle that hits the road meets those highest safety standards.
Yeah, and those quality standards.
It's about being a guardian of public safety.
It really is.
Like, you're the one.
In a very real sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. And that brings us back to you, listener.
that's right.
Imagine yourself in this role.
Yeah.
You're not just an engineer, you're an advocate. You're advocating for safety. You're advocating for compliance.
You're the one who signs off on it.
Yeah, wow.
Knowing that your work impacts the lives of the drivers, the passengers, everyone on the road.
It's a heavy responsibility.
It is.
It takes a certain kind of person to handle that kind of pressure, I would think.
Yeah, you got to have integrity.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be willing to stand up for what's right.
Yeah,
Even when you got those deadlines looming over you
right.
and people are pressuring you to compromise.
Because at the end of the day, it's about more than just meeting the minimum requirements.
Absolutely.
It's about upholding the spirit of the law,
Yeah.
making sure these vehicles are truly safe.
100%. And that's what makes a homologation engineer so essential.
They are a crucial part of the process.
They're the bridge between that technical world
Mm-hmm.
of automotive design and the real world impact of those designs
Wow.
on people's lives.
So it's a career path that needs that technical expertise,
Yeah.
but also that ethical decision-making.
It does.
And really a passion for making a difference.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for a challenging and rewarding career, this might be it.
It could be the perfect path for you.
Well said. And there you have it.
There you go.
Our deep dive into the world of the homologation engineer,
That's right.
a career that's often behind the scenes, but has a huge impact on our lives
Every day.
every single day.
Yes.
So if you've got that drive and that determination to make sure the vehicles of tomorrow are safe, reliable, and compliant,
Yes.
then buckle up
Apocalypse.
and explore this exciting career path.
I love it.
Until next time, keep those wheels turning safely.